Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's meeting of the Oakland Mills Community Association Village Board meeting. We're going to start off with our two usual administrative items. The first being approval of the minutes from the November 12th, 2024 board meeting. Do I have a motion to, I've got three motions to approve. I'm going with Warren because I saw him first. And a second, I'll go with Andrew.
That's right.
All right, any discussion of those minutes? All in favor of approving? Paulette, can we get a, there we go, 5-0-0. All right, next is approval of the agenda for tonight's meeting. Is there a motion to approve? Bill, I'll take a motion. Is there a second? I'll take from Andrew. Any discussion of tonight's agenda? Okay, all in favor of approving? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 0. And we're ready to go. Next up, we have resident speak out. I didn't notice anyone sign in. Is anyone in the room for resident speak out? Okay, anyone online for resident speak out? Okay, then we're right into new business. So our first item of new business, we'd like to welcome Jason Thompson from the Howard County Department of Recreation and Parks, Bureau of Capital Projects, Park Planning and Construction, for an update on our neighbor Blandair Park. Welcome.
Where's the best place for me to move the boards to? Cameras over here.
Somewhere in the front, I can move my camera.
Yeah, we can.
I don't want to block you guys.
You guys got that?
You can kind of put them on the sides, probably fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work.
Sit there. Okay. So Jonathan, thank you. I'm Jason Thompson, park planner from Howard County Rec and Parks. I am now the project manager for Blandair Park since Clara Doolin retired. And so the update, I'm going to start, there's a number of things going on. I'm going to start with the thing you'll see first, which is start of phase 6 construction. We had the groundbreaking a couple months ago, and we are looking to start actual shovels in the ground construction at the very beginning of January. You'll start seeing clearing going on, set of controls going in just after the first of the year. This is a rendering of the phase 6, includes 2 basketball courts, 6 pickleball courts, skate park, our largest in the county, and additional parking, and then overflow parking. If you know the master plan at all, you know that it shows an indoor sports facility going here. That's not currently getting built. We'll get to that when we get to funding for that. And Oakland Mills Road, you can see the circle kind of at the top of the screen. So I know I heard some questions about construction access and how this may affect traffic through the area. Construction access to this section will be from Oakland Mills Road. There's already a section of depressed curb there. That's where they're going to come in. That's where they're going to go out. They're mostly going to be coming in construction vehicles from 175 through the circle and around. So it's very short how it's going to affect Oakland Mills Road. Going out, since we don't have the bridge yet, they will be coming out and going out Tamar Drive. So we're going to discourage them from going through the smaller streets in the neighborhood and going out Thunder Hill. We expect this construction to take about a year. So it will be going on for a year. Can't start the machines until 7 a.m. They'll be done by 5 p.m. Usually they won't be working on weekends. There may be some changes to that to make up schedule depending on weather and other things going on, but that's not going to be a regularly scheduled thing. So that's basically that. It'll be ongoing. If anybody has any questions or issues that come up, please feel free to contact me. I'll be able to get to the contractors very quickly if there's an issue. One other thing that's going to be coming up in the next year is connecting. There's a pathway that'll connect from phase 1 to phase 3 over here off in the section off of Time Sweep Lane. I know we've been taking some excess soil out of here. There's about 50 trucks that still have to come out of there. That will happen this year, and then probably this fall, we're hoping to, hoping in the capital budget to get the funding to put in the pathway and the bridge over the stream here to connect the playground and the newest area over here, pedestrian wise, to this side, and not have to go all the way around. The future of this really hasn't changed a whole lot. We're still waiting to get the bridge in over 175 before we can really get to phases 4, 5, and 7. There will be some work done in the historic area for the stabilizing, rehabilitating the buildings that are there. Kind of getting that going in preparation. Our current vision for this is to make it into a period working farm for education purposes, so schools or other groups can come here and see what that may have been like in the time period when people were living in the mansion. So, and that's basically where we are on this. I don't have a timetable for anything going on here. We have to wait until we get this connection, and so our capital funding for this keeps getting bumped back as the funding for this gets bumped back. It's in the span of many years at this point. And we'll start with, once we can get this there, we can get the design done for each phase and then hopefully get funding for it. So it'll come as we can. I also have Jamie Ponton and Mike Milani, our Bureau Chief of Administration here. I think some of you know them already.
I do.
So if there's any questions about anything that's going on or what might happen in this, or how this is gonna affect tournaments and such, please, we're looking for.
Yeah, parking is going to be a problem. It already is a little bit of a problem, but with losing our big overflow lot during construction, we're looking for any suggestions you may have or any thoughts on how we can.
Oh, you're gonna talk about it? Okay.
Hi, I worked for Park Recs too before Boca. We were at the party.
Yes, sir. I thought you were Roger Carter.
Great party. No, I'm over at Women Crossing Elementary. Yes. A great party too. Love it. The last night I did testimony for Calvin Ball for the capital budget, and one area we touched on was Blandair Park. Two key items there. One is that if at Blandair we could get signage there telling the people, the attendees and park users about the opportunities here at the village center in terms of food primarily, but all the other shop owners that we have here at Oak Mills, that would certainly help the shop owners here because we're so close physically, although they have to drive down Kilimanjaro, up Stevens Forest and in. And that would be very helpful to us, and that was in the testimony last night that I gave. And the other item is.
That's easy. I mean, that's Jamie can send that out with all the teams. And I thought we were already doing something like that.
We have sent it over to our tournament partners to include in their emails to send out to teams of local areas where they can go get like the Dunkin' coffee in the morning, snacks, things like that throughout the tournament.
Okay, so it does go out in the tournament literature. There aren't any.
You're talking about
I'm
physical
looking
signs?
to
Physical
signage
signage.
up at the park if possible. It would coincide with what you're already sending out to the teams for the tournaments, et cetera. If you could then look at planning that, to put that in, that'd be very helpful to us. It would be helpful too to the attendees, because sometimes when you have a cross tournament and the teams are here at Oak Mills Middle School, they will go into the stores here to get food. And I always called it R&R, recreation restaurants, okay? So if we could look at that, that'd be extremely helpful. And then second thing is parking. It's an issue, we understand that. And our suggestion is that in the meantime, have parking lots that are not used on the weekends, like the courthouse parking lot and park and ride parking lots, and have shuttle buses come from those parking lots in here. And that the cost of running that operation be included in the fees for the tournaments. So there wouldn't be any additional cost to the county. The teams coming in here from out of state, part of the registration fee, maybe it's another $50 a team, something like that. And that would help with the parking now. And then future long-term, have a parking garage on site. You already have the land for on-street, for flat parking, and then go vertical like you do at the Roger Carter Center, where you have a 2-story parking garage at Roger Carter Center. That might be something to consider. I understand some additional costs and long-term, but look at putting into the planning long-term. So I did give testimony to Calvin last night on that, and we had sent that in a letter to Calvin November 7th. So that hopefully some of that will come to fruition over time. Thank you.
And we've looked at the parking garages and me being a sports-minded background, I've always wanted to put, like, Georgetown has the turf field on top of the parking lots. So.
You mean parking? Yes.
Parking garage.
Mhm.
Yep.
So it's something, we looked at, so. But as Jason probably pointed out, there's so many other projects ahead of any new funding. We have a lot of projects on the books that need to. The bridge over 175 would happen before anything additional, I think. And I don't know, Jason, 4 or 5, I mean, it keeps.
It's always been I guess each budget year, it's like 3 to 5 years out funding for that, and every year it's 3 to 5 years out. That's a DPW transportation project. And we're always for it, we're always asking for them to move it forward, and it winds up where it winds up.
Did you have the Howard County delegation behind you on that effort?
We haven't got to the point yet where we've started that process, we haven't started saying this is what we want. We're still in, like Jason, we're always a couple years out on that, just to even start the conversation, so. I would think that the delegation would, we work very closely with the delegation and shouldn't be, that big of a deal. But like, between the middle school and the high school, there's parking, it's just trying to get people to, even though in my mind, it's easier to walk the pathway from the high school than it is some of the places they go and park, but we do have plenty of staff during these, it's what, Jamie, eight weekends a year and a couple weekdays in the summer, and we do try and have, plenty of staff directing. We do put up temporary signs that direct parking, and we discourage them from parking in the neighborhood. But what I did learn is, in a public street, we have no control over where people park. We had this problem at Hollifield Elementary School way back when, and the police said there's nothing they can do if somebody, but we do discourage it, and we try to have our rangers, and Jamie has her staff there in the morning directing traffic, just to try and 1 year our rangers got detained, and by the time they got there, it was out of control, and we did ticket, and all the asking and all the pleading doesn't do as well as one ticket. Once they write one ticket, it seems that people move their cars. And it is such a huge impact for the county, these tournaments. Jamie, what was the number?
$65 million
Of,
for economic tourism for the county.
it's a big.
Big money.
It's a big win for everyone. It's, and what we try not to do is, between, like early March before our local, we call them the local leagues and the local teams, we try and keep the traditional seasons for them. The Savage Boys and Girls Clubs, the Columbia baseball, all that. We try and keep the core fall and spring seasons for the local teams.
All right,
A couple of things. Instead of doing like signs that said, I was thinking a map might be really nice. That way it could show where parking, suggested parking, how to get to Oakland Mills.
And
Village.
Jim,
That's a good idea.
keep speaking for Jim, but we send a packet out to each team. Part of the package is the different parking options, the different local restaurant options, there's different, tourism gives us information to provide for because these teams usually come in for a weekend. And some of them actually do multiple, like back to, like when we have different events back to back, they'll come in and plan one event and stick around for the second event, so they're in town, some of them come from, we have Canada, I know a bunch of teams from San Francisco, from California, I mean, there's a lot of teams that come in. And we just try, we do provide them the information. Whether they follow and listen, that's a whole nother story.
So I also had, thank you.
Warren, before you get to your next point, I have a request, Jamie, you're so good about sending Brigida and me information about tournaments and things coming up. If you remember, would you mind sending us an example of one of those packets so we can see what it looks like and what information's in there? Thanks. Sorry, Warren, go ahead.
So I had a question about the bridge crossing 175. I know is that going to include bicycle and pedestrian?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, and even if it wasn't, I would definitely push. I work quite extensively with Department of Transportation on a lot of the trails and everything here. So big proponent for bike and pedestrian crossing, being there and how many communities it connects
Right.
up that way, and being able, I see that as really a safer way to cross 175 than either Thunder Hill or Tamar.
Amen. It's good to hear.
So, yeah, Centennial, we have pathways going through, and I, getting those connections through our parks, I see is really a more pleasant way for people to travel, as well as hopefully a safer way than along more major roads.
So I see you have the plan that, I guess, I don't know when you developed that, it was a long time ago.
2011.
So is that how set in stone is that?
It is our guide work, though, as you say, it was done a while ago. And times change, needs change, desires change, so that's something, once we kind of get towards, okay, now we might be able to get to that north side. The south side with phase 6 is pretty much done. So other than the indoor recreation building, phase 6 will finish out the south, everything below 175. So that might be something that we look at revisiting and having some more community input and saying, is this still what is one about there? I think the historic area is going to stay how it is. I still think, the north is much more passive. There's the festival lawn with some kind of impromptu ball fields there that aren't to the same level as the ball fields that are on the south side. And that's our intention to keep it that way, but that's something we can look at.
And I would say I've worked for Howard County for the last 34 years in the Recreation and Parks Department, and Western Regional Master Plan included a huge roller hockey facility. So as we know, roller hockey is no longer what it once was. So now that has shifted, but there's always going to be an opportunity for your village board, for the community to come out, and when we're going into more of the actual design phase to come in. Like I know East Columbia Library, we changed what we were going to do there based on some community input. So there's always, like I said, we master plan these things well in advance, and things do change and people's needs change as well. And we're very receptive.
And phase 6 is an example of that, because the master plan doesn't include pickleball courts.
Well, that was gonna be my question as a pickleball fan. How many courts? You said 6?
6.
And like, what is the times that they would be open?
They'd be open when the park is open. They're gonna be lighted.
They will be lighted,
Yes.
okay.
The basketball courts, the pickleball courts, and the skate park are going to be lighted. So.
So I have some questions and feedback. One, obviously, this is all to scale. I know the north side is, still in planning, but conceptually, this is what it is. Notice how much buffer there is between anything residential and the activities in the north side. Notice how little there is on the south side. We're very much opposed to that future parking right off Time Sweep. We're kind of at the point where enough is enough with it kind of impeding on the residential areas, especially since by using the schools for overflow parking in fields,
Yeah,
it brings more impact into the neighborhood.
future parking at Time Swoop, we
Isn't
thought.
that time
It,
sweet?
it is shown on
Okay.
that master
Yeah,
plan,
that's.
Okay.
but we have no
And
plans.
that,
Okay.
I know that if you were involved, I've been involved with the project from the start, and that was where the original basketball courts were gonna
Okay.
go as well. And with your, input from your board and the community, we've moved them, we moved them away. My only thought was during construction, that we could, if we could use that field for overflow parking, it would definitely help with, with our parking situation, but Jamie contacted your board, it sounded like it's not something you wanted to do, so we're not gonna explore that.
Okay, we
But-
appreciate that.
But if it becomes an issue for your homeowners and you want to revisit it, and, until the construction is done, it may be helpful to everyone, but if it's that you don't want it, we're able to go to the high school and other places.
And if that were used temporarily, would it remain unpaved and then be regraded after the vehicles do their damage to it from parking on it?
I know we're stealing dirt, is that
Yeah,
the
we're-
proper term, we're using dirt from there.
The excess stockpile
Okay.
that was there, we're using on other sites.
Okay,
An archery, to shoot archery, building a big berm, we're taking the dirt out there, but it is gonna be a flat open area, and, right now I know it's paved, we probably, if we were to use it for overflow parking, we may widen that pathway a little bit, but then I don't anticipate that being a long-term, I think once the project's done and we get back to the overflow and the grass and with the additional parking, how many spots, Jason?
The main parking lot is 122, and there's probably close to 100 in grass overflow there until we put that building in.
Yeah, and then the building, I
It's-
definitely, I won't see it in my tenure in Howard County. I don't think that, that would be a lot in one park, you know what I mean?
It's not on the horizon. I think
Yeah.
if we put that building in there with all the other use there, that's when we would have to really start looking at structured parking on this site. It would work. We could make it work. We have discussed it. We have, it's,
good. Another question was, I'm assuming all of the orange is pathway, correct?
no, all of the
No.
orange is the phase limits. So each.
Oh,
say,
okay.
Phase 4
Okay.
is this area.
Oh, well, then maybe that negates my next question, because I was wondering what that thing across 175 is to the east, on the east end of
This,
J.
yeah, that's just a phase J has halfway
Okay.
been done. This part of
Okay.
phase J has been done. We need to do this part of phase J.
Okay, because I knew to the west of J, that's the overpass. I couldn't imagine what else could be going across 175. Okay,
No, there's not.
okay,
So, yeah, the left side of phase J is basically running where the bridge
okay,
will be.
got it. Okay, very good.
Real quick, I'm sorry,
You're
you had hand up, did you
Oh,
go
it's
first? I'll
just-
go.
it's not a huge thing, but the construction traffic, because I have to drive through Blandair Park to take my kids to the high school. in the morning. So maybe you guys already know, but so between like, I don't know, 7:20 and 7:50, the traffic backs up from the light at Kilimanjaro and Oakland Mills Road into that traffic circle at Oakland Mills and what is that, Montgomery?
Into
Uh,
this traffic circle.
Yeah, the one
Yes.
that's at the entrance.
Okay.
So if you have construction, like trucks coming through there at that time, there's also a lot of students crossing and walking.
In
So,
the morning, I'm expecting, and I've talked to the contractor about this last week. Their routes, they'll be coming from 29, they're actually coming from
Yeah.
Carroll County, they'll be coming from 29 down 175, come in here and there. So if all this traffic is here, they're gonna be here and it
and they're not
shouldn't.
gonna be leaving through
They may be leaving this way,
Okay.
but not at 7:20 in the morning, that's when they're gonna be starting. So,
Yeah.
when they have dump trucks of materials or other trucks and deliveries, they'll come in this way.
Yeah,
And it'll take them a little bit to get out of there, they probably won't have dump trucks come here. But yes, they'll come out through here and just go straight out.
there is quite a bit of traffic that goes through that way too, but
Yeah.
I was more concerned about that traffic circle and the students and everything.
Did the middle school and the high school still have the same start time?
No.
Okay.
No.
I knew that they corrected that.
They, yeah, they It's fairly close, but they shifted them a little bit. Actually, speaking of the middle school, another question for you. When the construction starts there, hopefully very, very, very soon. What are you gonna do for overflow then? Because that part of that field will be taken away because an addition's going there, and I'm assuming during construction, even more of that will be unavailable because of the construction equipment and everything.
We won't use that site.
Okay.
It's just, I mean, that field is,
It'll just be-
I always say it's the nicest grass field in the county, because we only use it like,
Yeah.
10 times a year, but. It's like, so they're putting the school there, so we just won't use that site.
I'll just use the high school.
I agree, that field is nicest. I've been here 51 years. That field used to be more dirt than grass.
Yeah.
The county's done a wonderful job getting that in great shape. I practiced soccer there. 2 points. One is I was on the village board from 99 to 03, and I testified back then when Blandair was first starting. And I had the plan, and I still have it at home, 99. Is different from what actually came in on the south end. The ball fields got moved closer to residential areas from the plan in 99. It was more, the ball fields were closer, pushed in toward 175. And there was more of a berm and boundary between the residences and the fields. So that when that happened, people in Oak Mills were disappointed that the plans had changed and brought the fields closer to the residential areas. And that's why we're very sensitive about that issue going forward. And then I know people on the north side of 175 will probably stone me for saying this, but here's an idea, okay? Get your slingshot out more. If the enclosed building is put in, don't put it south, put it north, because that'll add balance, usage balance, because it's heavy use in the south, heavy recreation, traffic, etc. You have more of a little balance in the development there, and put that building up north of 175, and maybe, close into 175, etc. So that the residences don't see it, and that there's still probably about twice as much land north as there is south of 175. So just a thought, okay, in
Yeah, I
terms
think
of
the
balance
building
and
would have to,
usage,
like,
etc.
We would really, I mean. If the building went to. That where it's currently on the master plan, that, I mean, you'd have to pick and choose what you did. You couldn't have. A lacrosse tournament and a basketball tournament, you'd have to, and I've always been against, like, you get two nice things, you don't wanna pick, you could move that somewhere else and get much more usage out of it, but. I think that's why we kind of pushed it back, because we realized that there'd be way too much activity if we put that building in. Now, if we got a 4-level parking garage and it all worked out and we got the input from the community and they're okay with it, we may, but I would say once again. There's some other places we could probably go, but I know we've always kind of left the north side a little more passive than. But like I said, what I've learned in 34 years is that things change, administrations change, people's needs change. And we're always willing to listen and get input and try and figure out what's most needed.
And I thought on the Owen Brown Park, Nick did a great job of listening to the community and made changes in that park. I thought that was excellent. I told him that. So, man, that was great, fantastic, and partnership, and it works. Thank you.
Well, that goes to something I was gonna say. Jamie, you're always great about sending emails, and I really appreciate that. And one of the things that I found with the community is they really 95% of the time appreciate when they get the news ahead of time as opposed to afterwards. So I really like that you were able to come tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you. But as we go on to other phases, and if there's changes, it would be great if, you reach out to us, and then I normally forward it to the board, and then they decide what, how to go about it from there. But I do definitely know that the community appreciates the input before or hearing before, as opposed to now it's happening and, oh my gosh, where we're at now. So thank you for that.
It is a partnership. I mean, we're in this together. We're like. Our job, Jamie's job is to bring tournaments to Howard County. That's her job, right? So, You know, but we, you know, we understand that the community and we try and, we think it's good for everybody. We think it's good for your village board. We think it's good for the, the shops around here. And, as long as it is, we'll continue to do it. If it comes to a point where it's just not feasible, we'll look at other ways, but we definitely would have your input and your involvement.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's always great when you guys respond, letting me know that there's stuff at the high school that's not on in the system that I can see. So that's always nice to know, like when you guys said there was that running event and they were starting in the parking lot that we were going to be using. So
Don't
I can send
It was
you
an obstacle
things.
course. It was
Yeah.
running obstacle course.
Yeah. There's another mattress sale on March 30th, just mark that down now. There's actually, you don't have a lot going on in February 1st, but there's the countywide dance things at the high school on February 1st, so
I
the
think
parking
it's
lot will be filled for that.
Times early March, like mid-June
Yeah.
through
Springtime.
August, and then,
Yeah.
again, back in end of October, November, the big, like, because like I said, we try and leave the traditional seasons for the local Howard County kids, and then what's used to, what I've learned in sports is there's no longer any off season. So there's no shutting down ever. I mean, like I said, just talking to Jean Shea, who rents our fields out for the county. She says they're more busy this winter than they've ever been with rentals. Like, people are practicing soccer year round, practicing lacrosse year round. It's good. It keeps the kids active, keeps them out there, but it's like there's never any downtime anymore.
So I have one more question for you, and maybe you've had outreach from them, but I'm not sure you have. I've just volunteered with the Booster Club at the high school to do like concessions for their games, and if you know Howard County, Oakland Mills High School is, kind of ranks at the bottom when it comes to having having a lot of outside funding available to it. If I put them in touch with you, like, is there the possibility that they could like open their concessions hut at your events so that there's, again, additional benefit to the community from, when the school fields get used and everything? I don't even know if this is something they're interested in, but I know that they never have, all they need. I mean, Oakland Mills High School quite literally has some like hand-me-down equipment from other more wealthy schools because it can't buy its own.
And one thing that we do with the turf fields now that we, help, when we pay for and then we help with the
Mhm.
replacement costs, and we do. Like with Troy Stevens, we provide all the goals, all the nets, everything that they would need for that field. We actually have an excellent relationship with Troy. And
Oh, good.
his staff.
Okay.
Mhm.
We, he allows us to use the concession building. We have made it available. He seems to tend like it's just hard to find volunteers that I think when their child's playing and they're there, they're all about it. When they're not, they don't really want to be there, but. We have vendors that we bring in, but if the high school wanted to do it, that would even be better, because then they could open the building and we wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, Mike might kill me for even asking about it, but I told him, hey, if we ever have the opportunity, you want me to inquire? And that was like a couple of years ago. He goes, why not? So yeah, maybe they wouldn't, but I'm just interested in even knowing if it's a possibility before I say anything to them. Fine Arts Boosters used to, yeah. Yeah.
So it would be like that.
My question is there a more finalized, like, version of the skate park available online? I was looking.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
So
it.
there's no like equipment list or like a more finalized layout, like construction layout? Because I was looking on the interactive construction map, and this isn't even on there yet.
Okay, I'll make sure it gets on there.
Okay.
I do have some closer up pictures
Okay.
and with some labels about what some of the skate features are.
Okay.
I can't remember their names. I can't pronounce some of the names of the things that they put in there.
Okay.
But I was never a skater, so.
No, that's okay, because this
But I
might
can get that
impact
put on
some
the-
stuff that's going on over at the sports park, so knowing what's going in there would be
Okay.
good for CA.
Yeah, I can get that put up on the construction website, so you can get to it, and everybody can get to it. We had those at the groundbreaking, so.
At the skate park, I'm glad it's going in because often there are people who skate on the tennis courts at Oakland Mills High School, which are bad for the courts. And hopefully there'll be enough flat open area there where they can do that along with all the tricks area that you've got in there too. But that, I told them, hey, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, go there, okay? When it gets put in, so that would
Yeah,
be helpful.
this was
too.
designed
Thank you.
for skaters of all skill levels, so if you're just starting out, or if you're more advanced, you should be able to find something here too. That
Fabulous.
was what we wanted to do.
Fabulous.
Anything else?
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much for coming in. Jamie, thank you as always for all the information you send. We appreciate it. We appreciate that you're open to feedback, you know, as the plans evolve over, I guess, over the many years. I guess we're looking at many years on this map here.
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if once we find out we're, you know, we have a definite timeline for getting the funding for that bridge to go to the north. I think it's been long enough. I would suggest come back and have a community meeting and say, let's look at this again. Let's make sure we're going the right direction.
That'd be great.
So.
And push the Howard County delegation to lead that effort. Because the man here next to me is the man behind getting the funding for Oakland Mills Middle School and High School, moved up, pushed up. And it's been almost a full-time job, and he's done a fabulous job, but it's so much push over years to make it happen. So my thought would be start pushing the delegation and get them to be cheerleaders for that bridge funding.
Well, now that I heard 65 million a year, I'm thinking all it takes is like 3 years of Blandair and break it in. All the deferred
Seems like
maintenance is
easy
gone.
math.
Totally,
Yeah.
3 years of Blandair and those schools should be pristine.
I wrote that down too, though.
Yeah.
That's what they all say.
No, thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
coming in.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
And
Thank
thanks
you
for
so
being
much.
flexible with the date. Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
And to Mike, I'm saying, take care, boss. I say that to Nick all the time.
Childcare, once we get, hopefully we can get it back up and rolling.
It's getting better, and what's fabulous, I love, are all the tournaments that you have, the turkey
Oh,
bowl,
yeah.
March Madness, we've got Frozen Four, we've got the chess tournament, we've got so many things going on for the kids. Gets them involved, excellent, thank you.
Yeah, we just gotta get more people like you to come work for us, so.
Thank you,
Take care.
take care.
All right, next on the agenda, we welcome back Marty Altmans to give us our, well, it's not quite monthly, I guess it's become a little bit bi-monthly. The annual, I don't know, quarterly. We're gonna get the CA update from Marty, and of course, what we all want to see first is the last slide with the baby picture, but we'll
That's right.
we'll wait in anticipation of that. Actually, the first question I have for you before you even start is maybe I missed something. What is CA squared? On your,
Sorry. Oh, that's the club automation and for the new launch and the CA. We were
okay,
working together. That was like
Okay.
the logo for everybody working on the
okay,
launch of the new club automation
Okay.
for the member service for the portal. Which one am I doing? Which one do you want me to do?
This one.
Okay, so this, my report this year is actually a 2024 wrap-up, report for everything that's, CA has been doing this, past year. So it'll be a little bit of everything we've done since January. So starting with some program highlights as normal. So, they started off this year with the highlight of our CNSL, had another incredible season. The Aquatics Department again hosted the annual All-City Championship meet at Phelps Select Pool, welcoming athletes from all 14 CNSL teams. And the event spanned nearly 30 hours with 1,400 swimmers, volunteers, and coaches, as well as an additional 1,500 spectators around Phelps Select Pool. Last Friday and Saturday in July. We also had tons of programming again this summer. Welcome the Lakefront Live, along with the movie nights, concert season, the Dancing Other People tree. You could watch a lot of it live this year was one of the big changes. Immense support at the lakefront, our ever-growing Juneteenth celebration, as well as the 4th of July celebration and fireworks, and another Latin dance night, and much more. There's also a concerted surveying effort to have a better understanding this year of who was attending those events and what value they hold in the community overall. The spring months also that we're very proud of this year was the vast improvements at the Hobbits Glen facility and Fairway Hill Golf Course. They completed an extensive draining project, as well as I believe it's on Mondays now. They close in the mornings for maintenance, and that's really improved the course conditions this year. So a lot of the golfers have made notes this year. It's the best the course has looked since they hosted the PGA tournament 30 years ago. So that we're very proud of how that has turned out this year at the golf courses. More than 550 students earned themselves and their families CA memberships this year through the CA Points program during the 2023-24 school years. These scholars were celebrated for their achievements in May at a family celebration event at the sports park. And then our CA martial arts program reached a 25-year program high of 126 participants. And the Columbia Ice Rink next door achieved another record year for their attendance as well. For the second year, the Columbia Arts Center partnered with Meriwether Arts and Culture for Beyond the Blues performance, which reflected the gallery on display there. And both the exhibit and the show take place during Black History Month. And CA looks forward to hosting another collaborative event this following year, following all of our renovations, which are ongoing right now over at the Arts Center. And then CA partnered with the Howard County Library System and the Community College again to hold a second and highly praised Change Inspired Courage Ignited event. And around 100 people came out to the free event, which featured a keynote speaker and breakout sessions, one of which was hosted by CA at Howard Community College. Some construction highlights this year. Collaborating with the Community Programs and Services Division and Community Operations, we completed phase 3 of a multi-year renovation at Supreme Sports Club to expand the lower level free weight room and build a new cycle and group fitness studios. I shared a lot of this last time I was here with the photos because it had just opened. The team celebrated with members during a celebration October 29th with fun activities like a deadlifts competition and make your own trail mix bar. And if you've not been over to check out Supreme, I highly recommend it. That area is amazing. Like you would not recognize downstairs after what they did over there. Sustainability installed a new 28 kilowatt solar system at the Owen Brown Community Center to offset a third of the building's electrical consumption. Capital improvement removed wood bridges and installed 12 new fiberglass bridges Columbia-wide under a compressed schedule to minimize impacts on the community and local schools.
I love that.
Yeah,
Bridges.
the new bridges are awesome, especially some that bikes around Columbia. They are so much less slippery after the rain than
Good
the old
traction.
bridges. Yeah,
Good
way
traction.
better.
From somebody who's fallen on most of the bridges.
Capital improvements completed
proud of that,
significant
Warren.
pathway improvement projects totaling 2
survived.
miles in Long Reach and King's Contrivance, as well as smaller repairs throughout the community. The team also completed play area improvements in King's Contrivance and Owen Brown, as well as our normal equipment repairs throughout the year. Community operations completed a major renovation of Stonehouse, which included a building addition for a new elevator, which that's just getting done right now. If you've been over that way, and that's what's starting now on the left side of that, which is the art center. The installation of new sprinkler system, fire alarm, and finishing enhancements, and they've got the picture it's actually on the right instead of above. And then the administration team and field crew dispatch completed managed vendors and processed invoices for approximately 2,200 service requests in the calendar year, which equated to over $1.8 million worth of repair and maintenance work at all the different CA facilities around town. Some organizational highlights. I guess number one is we welcomed our new president in June, Sean. The impact hire was followed by onboarding, internal, external outreach, and goal setting efforts with him. Our operation managers of the CPNS Fitness Club division have been conducting monthly loss and conscious exercises for their managers on duties at the fitness clubs. The training is aimed at educating our team on how to provide effective care during an emergency. Providing this kind of training to staff proved to be crucial when a member suffered a heart attack during a fitness class. Front desk attendant Ray Nee and one of our lifeguards, Jake Sultan's immediate actions in assessing the situation and calling 911 played a critical role in the member's survival and recovery. In coordination with our staff, partner organizations, and Columbia community engagement installed and facilitated 4 impactful donation drives and a first of its kind blood drive at the Supreme Sports Club. They included a continuation of our longtime work with Prepare for Success to provide students in need with supplies they need before the school year. Marketing and communications continue to work really closely with the village associations for increased awareness and participation in the village elections for the past year again. And then during Women's History Month, the Columbia Archives once again collaborated with the Columbia Art Center to showcase From Planning to Reality how the women in Columbia designed the community. The exhibit highlighted 35 Columbia-based organizations created by women and how these women innovated through civic engagement. In addition, it's not on my slide, but if you've not been to the Supreme renovation area or over to the sports park, the archives have 2 wonderful displays on at both of those locations right now of photos going back to the creation of Supreme and different things. So the archives has really been doing a wonderful job getting out and getting these displays out where people see them out of the fitness clubs in different places the last couple of years. November 19th marked a significant milestone with the successful launch of our new CA member portal with Club Automation, marking the retirement of Spectrum NG after more than a decade of service with CA. The project kicked off in early spring 22, culminating in an intense implementation phase in the last several months. The entire organization worked tirelessly over 14 weeks to make it a reality. The unwavering commitment to the excellence, deep collaboration, and teamwork displayed through this project are a testament to what makes CA so exceptional. This achievement would not have been possible without the hard work of each and every team member, and for that, we are all incredibly appreciative. Even the Club Automation team expressed their admiration for our efforts, noting they could only wish every partner implementation team was as outstanding as ours. This recognition highlights the bar of excellence we have once again set, and it launched pretty well. There's a couple little things we're still getting, but thinking of all the thousands and thousands of memberships and everything that came over. And if you've not used the new member app, it is a far improved. One of my favorites was I was helping install the new barcode scanners for the opening day. And a member had downloaded the app a couple days early and already had linked the new app to their phone and had the iWatch. And as you walk in, it will pull up your member card on your iWatch from your passport and scan their card in on using their iWatch. So there's some pretty fun new fancy features with the new app that we didn't have previously. U.S. Department of Energy and Howard County recognized CA for its leadership in environmental sustainability, with Germany receiving a gold achiever status on the national level and a green leadership award respectively. Our National Learn to Skate program over next door officially informed us that Columbia Ice Rink is once again the #1 Learn to Skate program in Maryland and number 11 in the Eastern US with over 900 members. Our marketing deployed several targeted campaigns that exceeded lead membership goals. For example, the October campaign achieved 558 leads, surpassing its goal by 109%. Community ops completed major construction projects to improve accessibility to our facilities, such as the new elevator at historic Oakland and Stonehouse. The capital improvements team completed paving improvements beyond the required bridge replacement scope work during all 13 bridge installations, with the goal of improving pathway system accessibility. Community ops led the play area work group and developed the cluster play area policy, which was approved by the CA board to enhance and optimize play area replacements for the foreseeable future. As a result of CA's strategic advocacy in the Maryland General Assembly, the legislature approved a $750,000 grant for the construction of the band shell at Lake McWundy coming up. And then the marketing customer care team displayed extraordinary adaptability during our Club Automation migration, balancing their normal duties while mastering all of our new systems and processes. Sustainability, again, points of pride. Corning carried out 3 large-scale invasive tree management projects alongside multiple stakeholders at Clock Tower Crossing, HOA, Range Dream Hill, and jumping way ahead.
Had a heavy finger. Oh,
That pad is very sensitive.
There
I think
But my hand wasn't even there, that's what I'm
Yeah,
grateful
it
for.
doesn't-
I was just thinking about it. Sustainability team in coordination with multiple village environmental groups won a Chesapeake Trust Award, granting Green Streets, Green Jobs, Green Towns Award program. And our street team, a cross-functional group from different parts of CA that represents us at all the events, the downtown, all the different lakefront events and things. They continue to expand our intentional impact, engaging people at approximately 15 major events throughout the year to ensure CA is showing up with intention and purpose throughout the community. Looking ahead to 2024, these are some of the things CA is looking at towards next year. All of CA will be hard at work fully integrating the club automation system into daily operations and leveraging its new features for enhanced customer insights and streamlining processes. There are exciting opportunities ahead to connect with our community and improve the services we offer. In May 2025, we will launch a revamped and fresh Lakefront Live with an updated schedule, new types of entertainment and interesting elements, the addition of new partnerships, and unique ways to engage with our community. The Office of the General Counsel will advise and collaborate with the Board of Directors to consolidate, refine, and reform board policies, outline a review structure, and implement a readily searchable online database for our CA board. Community Operations will implement a utility information management system for analyzing and tracking energy and water consumption to help develop metrics and measurable outcomes. And our procurement will purchase and implement an e-procurement platform that will allow for compliance, transparency, and accountability and solicitation process. Further, an e-procurement platform will reduce administrative time and costs for CA and suppliers. Finally, upcoming events, if you've not been out, Festive Friday, we got 2 more left. We got the standard one next Friday, or this upcoming Friday, and then the following Friday, there is a special cocktail crawl. I know that's the one my wife wants to go check out. So if you have not been down, the lakefront looks amazing. You should get down and check out the lights while they're up over the next few weeks. And I think I saw there's more than 3 loops around the pathway worth of lights down there. I mean, it really looks impressive. And then finally, what everybody's been waiting for.
right.
My daughter actually on the swing over by Stevens Forest Pool on Saturdays. We do a big loop through Blandair Park and around here. And so she's checking out the swings.
Oh,
How old
And I
is she
think
now?
this year and 4 months.
cool.
So she is officially a walker and not really crawling anymore.
Good,
And then
good,
this
good.
is any questions or anything you guys need me to take back to the CA board. I got this one night at I think Centennial Lake.
Okay.
Out walking around the lake
Yeah,
at night
it's cool.
before
That's
dark.
nice.
Oh, yeah,
With the
nice
dog.
photo.
And come to see a board or anything, or my boss or anything you guys need to take back, or Sean?
Anything?
Sounds like a good year. It was good highlights from the
Yeah.
year. So,
Yeah.
Been crazy.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, I think on the slide looking forward, should that be 2025?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah, it probably should have been 2025. I'll get that fixed.
Yeah, in
Before
case
it goes
you, next time you give this.
Some of the
Yeah,
other, well,
yeah,
I
yeah.
usually don't have to give it more, but some of the
Other
other,
people do.
the other people steal mine and then update it, so. I'll get it back to
20.
speed where it's fast.
That's great. No, it's a lot of accomplishment, a lot of
Yes.
accomplishment,
So,
a lot of accomplishment, and good plans looking forward to further enhance operations.
thanks, guys. So if you have anything else, let me know. I'll probably see you guys late January, early February.
Thank you very
Good.
much, Marty.
Yep,
Look forward to
that's
seeing
great.
you again.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I
everybody.
actually saw you at the Halloween thing at the sports park, but you
Yeah.
were busy with people, so I couldn't even get your attention as I
Yeah.
did.
That is a crazy event.
I'm guilty because you came in and told us about that. That was the last time you were here.
Yeah.
I forgot all about it that day. My daughter out of the blue is like, Dad, let's go hit some balls at the batting cages. So I'm like, okay, let's try. So I drive up there and I pull up, I'm like,
No.
why are these two people in costumes not letting me into the? And then I went, oh, wait a minute, I know why these two people in costumes aren't letting me into the parking lot.
Yeah, there were thousands of people there.
Yeah, it
That
looked
was
really nice.
crazy.
Yeah.
I think I had like 4,000 pieces of candy, and I think I had maybe like a bag of 300 left at the
Wow.
end of the event.
Wow.
So I mean, it was just a crazy 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah. Well, and you know, my daughter was just about to turn 14, so she's like embarrassed when I see anyone around town. in their costumes. She was perfectly happy not to participate in that, take her swings and then get out of there as quickly as possible. So when she saw me trying to wave to you, she said, Dad, come on, we just gotta go, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen each other a couple times around town too, because you, Mission Barbecue. we
Yep.
bumped into each other.
Yeah.
I love that Mission Barbecue.
Yeah, it's great
Favorite
place.
one.
Great place.
Well, thank you guys. Thanks.
Thank
Great to
you,
see
Marty.
everybody as always, and have a wonderful night and a very happy holiday.
Very
Thank
happy
you.
holidays to you and your family. Thank
That's
you.
right. Get busy shopping for your daughter.
We have no problem with that. My wife has a fun job at the Lego store and
Oh,
has
nice.
so many Duplos stashed
Oh.
away.
Oh,
She will never
goodness.
run out of Duplos
that's
or
great.
Legos for the holiday.
Wow.
I got you, yeah.
all right. Thanks very much, Marty.
Take care, Marty. Thank you.
All right, we are on to old business, and part of our old business, thank goodness, it's happening early this year, is the follow-up discussion and potentially the vote on our election calendar, election guidelines, and election monitor committee. Let me turn it over to Brigitte. I don't know if there are any like changes or anything you need to highlight for us from last time.
Nope, everything was the same. I didn't get any additional changes. I did forward it to the prospective election monitor committee. Lewis is on actually, to look it over. Pretty much it was just mostly dates, so that was the big change, and I didn't get anything else.
Okay,
And again, I still don't have the Columbia Association candidate information night, but that will be filled in.
we'll get around to
accordingly.
it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in the, I guess, month that we've had, right, yeah, we didn't meet, thanks, in the month that we've had it now, did anyone, have any epiphanies, have any questions, anything that's in here from last year that you felt didn't work that we need to change, or do we feel we're good to go?
Good to go.
Good.
All right, then, is there, I'm gonna go in order. Is there a motion to approve both the contested and non-contested election calendars? I have a motion from Andrew. I'll take a second from Bill. Any discussion? All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, Paulette, 5-0-0. Okay, is there a motion to approve the election guidelines as submitted? I'll take a motion from Andrew, second from Bill again. Any further discussion?
Does Paula have, she just raised.
Oh.
Her hand. She asked a question.
Okay, all in favor? 5-0-0. And finally, is there a motion to approve the election monitor committee as submitted? I'll take, I think Warren's hand shot up first that time. There's competition here. I'll take Warren as the motion and I'll take Andrew as the second. Any discussion of that?
I think, it looks, I don't know, Paulette has her hand up and Lewis has
Yes.
his hand up. He's on the election monitor committee,
Oh.
but he put it down.
No, I don't have a question.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Lewis,
did you have a question?
No, I did not. Thank you.
I was gonna say, let's vote him in before he says he doesn't want to do it. All right, all in favor? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and Paulette, you had the hand up before, was that in anticipation of it? 5-0-0. All right. Well, this is the earliest we've ever locked it in my time here. I feel like we can take January and February off.
and then I'm sure there's
Is that a
plenty to do.
motion?
All right, oh, I guess we're to the board chair report. So a few things. I got an email from the firm planning the addition and renovations to Oakland Mills Middle School. For some reason, they were under the impression that they needed to go through our exterior alteration process for the middle school, which was nice of them. And I worked with Brigida yesterday to inform them that, no, they don't. We don't have covenants on school property. But we did point out to them that kind of as a courtesy to the committee, back when Talbot Springs was being done, that firm came in and did a little presentation for us on what the new Talbot Springs would look like, and we'd appreciate it if they could come in and, you know, do the same and show us the final, you know, renderings and plans for the I guess, you know, partially new and then and then other part renovated Oakland Mills Middle School. And I didn't see a reply come back today, Brigida, but I was kind of busy down at work. Did they respond to that yet? Do you happen to
Oh,
know?
I see, CC'd you on it when they responded yesterday to me, and then they asked if I could put it on letterhead.
No,
That's
but
it.
did they respond about coming in?
Oh,
and
no, no, I'm
presenting?
sorry. They
Yeah,
did
no, I
not
know
yet.
that. Yeah,
Sorry, I
okay.
apologize. No,
Yeah.
they did not respond about
Okay.
coming in yet.
All right, so if they don't, maybe like after the holidays, we'll follow up with them and invite them in again. 'Cause I
Okay,
think
yeah,
that
I
would be
made
a
a
nice
note to
presentation.
follow up, yeah.
Okay. Um, uh, apparently last night, even though I'm gonna bite my tongue. Apparently a board chairs gathering was still held at Wild Lake last night, even though it seemed like most of the chairs were unavailable or asking why they're having it. I couldn't go because I had another event. Bill was representing us at the county. So I don't know what the outcomes of that are. I haven't seen any, you know, follow up to that, other than something indicating that it happened and it was a nice discussion. I don't even know how many people were in the discussion. With that said, there's been really no, there has been no response from the CA board to the board chair's letter. And there really hasn't been much of a response to the staff, other than to acknowledge that there is a letter from the board chairs. And I think I've mentioned before that I was a little concerned because we agreed that Wild Lake would send the communications out after we all signed. And they did. They sent it to Sean and copied some staff. It never went to the CA board. And Brigida inquired, I inquired. My colleague Kevin, chair of the River Hill Board, inquired, and it never went to the CA board, because you all have been here when Karen's turned to me and said, still don't have it. Formally, right? I mean, she had a copy because we have a good working relationship. So that was still hanging out there. So it's, you know, kind of hard to expect a response from the CA board or for them even to engage when they haven't even formally been in receipt of what we were trying to communicate to them. So just before Thanksgiving, Kevin Bruning, the chair of the River Hill Board, sent something to all the board chairs saying, seems like we need to do something here. Like we kind of feel in limbo. You know, the managers and the staff are still going back and forth over red line, but they're going back and forth over red line, and we haven't even agreed, you know, to kind of the overarching strategy we're going for with CA. I mean, we've agreed as villages, we and CA have not agreed to that. And that's probably more of a board thing that they might have to direct the staff to do, especially since we're looking for like long-term financial commitments and they have to make the financial decisions. So Brad Butler from Owen Brown proposed going into this Thursday's meeting. Actually, Brad proposed going to the operations committee and asking that the villages be put on the agenda at an upcoming meeting to have this discussion with CA. The operations committee apparently decided there wasn't enough time to do that and did not schedule us. So the fallback was go into this Thursday evening's meeting and have one of the village chairs speak on behalf of all the villages, not necessarily to the whole letter, but to a piece that's really most important to the villages for our, you know, long-term planning and survival, and that's the long-term financial commitment, basically bullet one, right? We want this to be a partnership. We have a financial relationship. We shouldn't be hanging on this every 5 years and then annually as you adjust the charge. So several of the chairs, including myself, agreed that that seems reasonable because that just supports what we've all already brought to our boards and agreed to in that letter. We're just speaking to it to try to get some response to CA. So Wild Lake immediately just responded with a doodle poll to have a chairs meeting, and that's where some of the chairs started saying, what are we meeting over? This is fine. What else do we have to talk about?
Mhm.
Meanwhile, I had a conversation with Kevin from River Hill, and then Kevin, Brad, and I had a phone call Friday evening to sort of plan this out and then go back to the rest of the chairs with sort of the plan of attack. So the plan of, I shouldn't call it attack, but you know, the plan. So the plan is exactly what I laid out with one addition. I pointed out to Brad and Kevin that we are technically going in to talk to the CA board about something for which they have not received a formal outreach from us. You know, we assume all the board members are individually in receipt of a version of this letter or a draft or something from attending their village board meetings and working with their village boards, but it was addressed to them and they never received it as a collective. So Brad wanted to go back to Wild Lake and give them one more shot. I said, no, I'm kind of done with that. I just want to send it. So Brad said, okay, I got an idea. You send it, me, John, you send it. I'll speak Thursday. And that way it looks like it's not just, you know, one village, it's the villages working together. I said, cool. So I sent that letter to the CA board yesterday morning, informed the other board chairs of what I did. Several of them said, what do you mean they never formally got it? What do you mean you had to send it to them? So I wrote back and I explained. It only went from us to Sean with copies to two of his staff. It never went from us to the village board, up to the CA board collectively. Oh, okay, all right, thank you. You know, thank you for doing that.
Happened?
We can talk privately if you want. I'm just
Gotcha.
gonna
Yes,
continue
I
with
like
what
that.
I'm saying in open meeting.
Okay, thank you.
So they now have that. Because I did the thing we've been advised to do. I actually put each of their individual addresses in the two line instead of that like reflector account or whatever they have that sometimes doesn't work. And at least I haven't looked at the email traffic. I would say at least 5 of us are available Thursday night to go in and basically, you know, sit with Brad or stand behind Brad as he speaks up. There's no need for 10 villages each to take 5 minutes,
Right.
you know, and tie up CA speak out. So, you know, he's gonna stand up and say that he's speaking on behalf of all the villages, and we'll be there showing our moral support and also be there to answer maybe any questions that come back at us. And I'm hoping more of us can make it, but you know, people are busy, not everyone is always available, but that's the plan for that, because we really feel like and another thing that Brad, Kevin, and I had discussed is we really feel like the way we're doing this is the appropriate way, you know, where CA staff and village staff should be, you know, doing the dotting the i's and crossing the t's of the negotiations, which is what we've obviously delegated and empowered our village managers to do, and they're doing very well. And it should really be the village boards engaged with the CA board on the larger strategy. Because what CA seems to want to do is sort of push it all to their staff, and their staff kind of keeps the CA board out of it. We're trying to pull the CA board into it because we're talking about something longer term than just, you know, accept the changes and get this contract signed already, which seems to be what the CA staff is really pushing for. Plus, I feel like, and Brigitte and I have had conversations, so I don't think I'm talking out of school here. I feel like the village managers are in a little bit of an uncertain situation here, because they're still basically going back and forth with negotiation and red line under a framework that the villages have told them we don't necessarily want. We want to change the framework. So we've got to do something to break this loose so that we can make some progress, because I don't want to say we're at an impasse in the traditional sense that negotiations are. It's just that no one quite knows how to move forward because we put this thing out here and no one has acted on it yet. Is that a good summary, Regina?
Yes, that is a very good summary.
Okay, and I'm sure you can follow up with what's going on at the village manager level, but that's what's going on, you know, with the chairs on behalf of the villages. And obviously, if anyone were proposing to go in and say anything, you know, at all that potentially deviates from the letter, I'd say, no, we've got to go back to our boards, or at least I have to go back to mine and get approval. But no, this is, like I said, I met with Kevin and Brad on a Friday night, and you know, this is absolutely just, you know, sticking to part of that overall letter, and that is the, you know, locking in of that long-term relationship that we're looking for. Because once we resolve that, the rest can start falling into place. If we don't resolve that, then we've still got these two contracts. We don't really agree with the framework of that, and we're still, back looking at assessment share every year, because they budget every year, and then back at the table over the contract every 5 years, which we just don't want. It's just, it takes a lot of time and energy, and it probably costs us more than it's worth to keep doing this over and over. So that's everything I have for chair report, unless you have questions for me or things you were expecting me to follow up on that I didn't. Warren and then Bill. Oh, Bill, I was looking your way, okay.
He's my assistant, I'm his assistant. Thank you. I think your decision-making and handling that whole issue process was excellent. Great job.
Thank you.
I have to agree with that as well. I noticed we got an email from, who wrote about it?
Yeah, by, the Owen Brown rep, Mike
Brown,
Galiber. Did I say it right, Brigida? Galiber. I always get it.
I saw the name and I
Mhm.
didn't want to even think how to pronounce it. How should we approach that?
I did mean to bring that up. I think the appropriate approach to that, because he's, one person speaking his opinion, not necessarily speaking on behalf of the CA board, is I could just send a reply, thanking him for acknowledging our request and for sharing his thoughts with us, because he was kind enough to write an individual response to us.
No, I thought it was great, actually.
Yeah.
Usually it's just crickets.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's been in both positions. He was their chair and now he's their CA rep. So, and I think he even mentioned that in the letter. So I don't think we need to do, much more than that. Just express our appreciation for him sharing with us.
I just noticed on the Orchard Green path, he had a question.
Oh, that's right. He does have a question. I think we can address his question. Yeah, and I think the easy answer to that is there's, like a lot of things around here, there's some CA property, there's some county property, there's some state property, so they all have to work together. Right. Right. Yeah, we're not asking CA to take care of anything beyond what they own.
Right, it's just supposed to connect with the future pathway, which he did mention.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
okay,
All right.
thanks.
Anything else? All right, Karen, I think, is that a committee meeting tonight for CA? Did she send anything to you to?
She did not,
Okay,
no.
all right. She did put out her, her update to the community today, so there's good information in that. So we're on to Brigida.
Okay, well, first and foremost is the FY 26 second quarter financials. And Amy had sent them out to you a little earlier. There was some things that did require comments. A lot of them are the same thing that require comments most years. So if you look at the budget, with the revenue, we often have an excess or an overage in revenue for special events. It normally does equal out by the end of the year, but we have a large majority of our events take place in the first 2 quarters of the year. So that's why that is high. Like I said, it will probably balance out. Janitorial wages, we were a little under, and that's simply because I had anticipated more courtyard setups. That's where that funding comes from. And there weren't as many. Payroll benefits, per our management contract that we're currently in with CA, when a full-time employee seeks benefits outside of the enrollment period, it falls upon the village to supplement the benefits. So we did have an employee choose to do that, and so that is why that I did not know when I put the budget out. So that's where that excess amount comes from. We did just finish with open enrollment, which will begin in January 1st, the new period. So that should, should then go its normal route with CA covering it. under fees, we had put in a holder basically for legal fees, and of course, thankfully, we have not accrued any as of such, so we have an excess there. Janitorial expenses, oh, excuse me, no, business expenses, I will say between business expenses as well as special events, although I did estimate for inflation in the budget, I did not estimate enough for inflation. Performers, in order to get them, quite honestly, as they should, they're charging more money. They have to survive too, and in order to bring them here, we have to pay a little more. So it will hopefully be noted for next year. And advertising, we are under because with our new use of advertising in different websites and in different ways for the other barn, we have significantly decreased our advertising, and that is with upping advertising for Oakland Mills events. Amy's been doing a lot of Facebook advertising, which has really brought in a lot of numbers to our lively.
Yeah, it's actually meta advertising, so meta is not only Facebook, it's also Instagram, and I think Threads, maybe a little bit with that, and just different, whatever meta platforms.
And it's been very successful, very
Yeah.
successful. Our taxes every year, it's off in the beginning, the first 2 quarters, but it does balance out by the end of the fiscal year. And repairs and maintenance, they have been a little higher. There have been some interesting rentals, so we do have to keep up with that. So that is why, and again, not only do we have to keep up with that, but again, inflation. There are a lot of prices for materials are more expensive, so that's billed through CA, a lot of it, but of course the materials are more expensive.
I had a comment on that. It has nothing to do with approval of the financials, but because you've told me about a few interesting rentals we have. If just, you know, obviously there's inflation, costs have gone up, but if we also are seeing a trend toward maybe more interesting rentals, if you feel that the security deposit has to be raised, you know, to
We
better
are.
protect us, we should raise it.
We
Okay,
didn't raise it for 2025 because we already had put rentals in place, but we have raised it
Okay.
for 2026
Okay,
in
good.
response to that
Okay.
exact thing. And also Ashley and I are working on a very specific price list, such as if you break this, this is what it will cost. If
Okay,
you
good.
break this, this is what it will cost. And that will be included in the contractual package beginning the
Great.
first of the year.
I should
So,
have known you'd be 3 steps ahead of my idea.
yeah.
If you're a nonprofit, how do you need to balance out taxes?
How do you need to balance out taxes? Oh, well, we have to be able to say what we spend and what we don't spend, and we still have to pay taxes, even as a nonprofit.
Okay,
So we even though our income might be exempt from taxes, certain taxes,
Right,
we still have to pay things like payroll taxes on our employees.
right. Yes,
thank you for pointing that out.
yeah, sure.
That's a good question.
It is a good question.
And Brigida, one thought is, if there's a trend that the people who create the problems are of a certain kind of party type or whatever, you might consider excluding that from being able to run to them. If you notice a pattern,
Right.
because I know people who do rent halls, they had issues with a certain type of parties, and they outlawed them, so we don't handle them anymore. And that really helped them financially, and they didn't have to repair or replace as much.
It's those 75th birthday parties. that
Out of control, yeah. Yeah, well, I will say that unfortunately, you know, we have two staff, and they do an excellent job, but there's still 2 people in a large event. And even though, I mean, those policies and what they signed and agreed to have gone over with a fine tooth comb since Susan, since myself, since, you know, everybody, it's still, there's just, people are sometimes just gonna do what they're gonna do, and ultimately they end up breaking it, which is the reason why they were told that they can't use it that way, but. Like I said, there's been a couple of pricey repairs we've had to do, so. And they did not get their security deposit back.
Right,
Yes.
good job.
So, but otherwise, we are, right within what I budgeted overall, you know, even though some of the line items are over or under, overall, we are certainly within the range. And we've kind of adjusted a little bit about our profit and loss, statements. We normally look at them quarterly, obviously, but we're going to be looking at them more frequently. And on top of that, as of February 1st, we will officially be going over to QuickBooks Online, which is going to make a lot of things more accessible and easier for myself, the bookkeeper, and the accountant. Yeah.
Are you testing factors to see how it will affect your business?
Testing factors? Oh, like, what do you mean? Like QuickBooks Online?
Like profits and losses, so like you said that you do it more often than quarterly.
Well, we're going to start, yes, so we can see it more readily and I can monitor it as opposed to just doing it on a quarterly basis.
If you're doing that, because you never know when you'll hit a roadblock.
That is true.
I'm just studying business.
I was just, are you a future accountant?
She has all the right questions, yeah.
If you're a future accountant, we need to talk after this.
No, I'm not a future accountant, I'm
Oh,
more
okay.
into marketing and
Okay.
economics.
Oh, economics, we might still need to talk after this. All right, were there any, outside the variances, were there any questions for Brigida about any of the figures for the quarter in the financial report? Okay, is there a motion to approve the Q2 statement as submitted? I'll take the motion from Bill, the second from Andrew. Any further discussion? All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 0. Okay. And operations update, Brigida.
Okay, so we have had 2 of our holiday events. Breakfast with Santa was a huge success. As you see on the paper, we sold about 40 tickets for each, and I will say that was a big part of that was not only Amy putting it out there, but also using that meta advertising. We had a lot of great volunteers. Thank you, Amy, for successful, wonderful event. We had a lot of happy little kids. And thank you to all of the staff and volunteers for making it a wonderful day. Sunday's jazz concert was wonderful. We had a little bit of a snafu with the caterer, which we have worked with the caterer and he has given us some money off. But the music was amazing. The vocalist took my breath away. It was phenomenal. I think everybody enjoyed themselves. It was a sold out event. And like I said, everyone left feeling very, very festive. And our last holiday event for 2024 is tomorrow. Another sold out event. It's gingerbread house decorating. So that always provides for lots of creativity and lots of mess, but a lot of fun. It's a lot of mess, but it's a lot of fun.
It's still one of our more laid back.
It is pretty laid back, yeah. And Amy has tentatively set dates for the majority of the 2025 events, and has started to move forward there. And we have already secured all the performers and dates for Jazz in the Mills, and the tickets for the March concert have already gone on sale, both online and hopefully we'll get our paper tickets by the end of the week and they'll be available as well. The other barn will be closed beginning on December 24th. I will be available by email on the 24th because technically we are open, but I didn't really feel it was necessary to make everybody come into the office on the 24th, so I told them to just check their emails in case they're, but I doubt anything's gonna be going on, and we will reopen January 2nd at 10 a.m. We have one more rental on Saturday for 2024. Ashley is thrilled because her life slows down a little bit and we can kind of review some of our processes and make them better for next year. But thank you to Ashley and our event staff, who we could not do anything with that. They make it great and down to the very finest point. And then as Jonathan spoke about from the board chairs, the village managers received an email back from the CA staff regarding our red line copy, asking us to give a rationale for each of our the items that we wanted to revise. So we asked them if they could give us more specifics, because that was not in their initial request. And they did not really give us more specifics. So Laura from Hickory Ridge it was Craig and Laura who were the two village manager reps, because they asked us to provide two representatives from the village managers. But of course, I don't know if you all know, but Craig from Owen Brown will be retiring as of January 1st. So currently it's Laura, and she has been going through and is supposed to be sending it back to us so we can kind of see, even though we all were in on the rationale, just to she wants to make sure she got all of what we had intended. She's spelling it out correctly. And then herself and another village rep will meet with CA staff next Friday, the 19th, to, I guess, further the negotiations. That is where we're currently at with that. And one last piece of news that isn't on here, because I just got it at 5:30 today, is that I did reach back out to the contact for the 7-Eleven project to see if they had any updates on the opening. I haven't even told you this.
Drum roll.
Drum roll, and they are looking to open on January 21st. Oh my gosh,
Oh.
perfect. And I said, do they have any plans for any type of grand opening event? And Steve, and this is his name, who I was working with, put me in touch with the two people that once the project is done, it will be the 7-Eleven representatives. And he said I'll put you in touch with them and they will have information about
Yeah,
that.
they're looking for employees, because that might be something we put out there if they.
Well, and that's what I'm getting into. So that happened literally at 5:30 and 5:45 today. So
And you said January when?
21st.
21st.
That is the date. So anything else I hear, I will absolutely forward, and I will absolutely put it out to the community.
So I will not clean my car until.
Yeah.
I've been waiting. That's my excuse.
And Bill,
Yeah,
I
it's a-
did forward regarding the lights. You saw the response, BG is working on them, but multiple lights are out, so they said that it could take
Take a while.
So hopefully before the 7-Eleven opens.
That'd be good.
It'll be before that.
Yeah.
But so that is where we were at with that, and I think that's everything I have. And lastly, I just want to say thank you. I think it's been a great year. To the staff, to all of you, I've really enjoyed working with all of you. I've learned a lot. I always learn a lot. But it's always very interesting, sometimes challenging, but that makes it, more exciting. Always love a good challenge. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, committee reports. Anything architecture?
Not really, mostly just the same, like people applying to change their windows or change their siding or remove dying trees. So yeah, nothing other than that. Yeah.
Sounds good. Education, the committee, I think we'll have its next quarterly meeting. I think it'll be the 4th Tuesday in January. Is that right, Brigida?
I
That's
think,
what we have
yes.
scheduled for.
That was what we.
So there's no update on any meetings. just for follow-up on the middle school, so that, you know, you can kind of know what to expect. We should see groundbreaking this June. So as this school year ends, we should see groundbreaking. It's a multi-phase project. It'll be entirely complete in December of 2028. So it's about a 3.5-year project. There are going to be some temporary modular classrooms brought in, because they're going to move they're going to move some classes into modular classrooms for the 25-26 school year, because the interior of the old building is going to be taken down to columns. It's being gutted. Most of the exterior walls will remain. There's going to be some alteration to existing exterior walls, in addition, obviously, to a new building addition that will be attached to the, you know, to the old building, to bring the old space up to current educational specs, and also to have a proper entryway and a proper administrative suite, because if you're familiar with the middle school right now, they don't really have a proper entryway or a proper administrative. It makes no sense at all. So the appearance, even though they're saying that the exterior walls are mainly staying up, the appearance will actually end up changing a bit, as will the eventual traffic patterns. But it is quite the project, and even though this is not considered a rebuild, when it's all said and done, we're effectively getting a new school, because they're, you know, other than the columns holding up the roof, everything on the inside is going to be torn out and redone, along with the addition. So expect to see that starting soon, and you know, it'll be a little messy for a while, especially if you have a student attending the school, but it'll be worth it in the end. And then, you know, as of now, the high school is still, well, it's the middle school, it's Dunlogan, and then the high school is, you know, still third in that priority list, where, you know, planning funds would have to start in the next fiscal year, so that the project can be completed on time. So hopefully that stays on task. The high school, my understanding is the high school will close again this summer, to do phase 2 of that HVAC project, just to carry it over for the renovation. So the school system unfortunately got itself into a position where it has to put a lot of money into something that it's then going to tear out and do again, because it got to that point where, well, they said in 2009 it wasn't conducive to learning. It got to the point where it really wasn't conducive to learning, to where like there was mold growing and they had to close wings down. So unfortunately, maybe not the best planning and use of our tax funds, but it has to be done, and then it'll be done again, according to the capital plan. So that's what I have there for education. Warren, anything public space?
No, I guess our next meeting will be in January.
Okay. Paulette, anything from the tenant committee?
Columbia Point is about to form their tenant union, and that's about it. They're like right there on the cusp.
Great.
Good.
So they've not that we need to get into that, but I guess some of the internal struggles have been resolved so that they can move forward.
They're just kind of like ignoring it and going with the
Okay.
people who are positive. Yep, and going forward.
Hey, good for them. Way to go.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so we do have a closed session. We technically don't, we have adjourn and closed session at the same time. Technically, adjourn happens after the closed session, because we have to come out of closed session, report the outcome of the closed session in open meeting, and then adjourn. But for the benefit of anyone who's listening in and doesn't want to remain with us after the closed session, we'll do the bulletin board now. After the bulletin board, if you're not a board member, and you don't want to be put in the waiting room during the closed session, you know, feel free to leave. The outcome of the closed session will be in our minutes when we publish them. If you do want to stay till adjournment, just understand we're going to put you into the waiting room during the closed session, and then bring you back in after the closed session to report out the outcome. So with all that said, Amy, anything for the bulletin board?
Actually, I forgot to put in in the e-news, the giving machine, which is the vending machine that where you get to give instead of get.
Mhm.
It's back at the Columbia Mall. Grassroots actually sent out, an email promoting it because Grassroots gets to benefit from it. A lot of, local charities, nonprofits, benefit from it. So if you want to give, that's a great way. Just go to the mall and
Great,
use the giving machine.
all right.
I have two things. One, I had a very musical weekend and I attended the WBAL concert for kids. The matinee on Saturday, and let's just say I was blown away. I mean, I know there's talent in Oakland Mills High School because my kids were there. But it was all Oakland Mills High School. There were no professionals, but you would have never known that. It took my breath away. I cried. I mean, it was amazing. The talent that I witnessed was just phenomenal, and the energy, everything was very, very wonderful. So I was very, very happy that I went. And a little personal note, I just want to let you know that my son got engaged the week before Thanksgiving, so I'm pretty excited because I live in an all-male household, so really excited that there's another strong female that is coming into our lives. So
And she actually was there at
Congratulations.
Breakfast with Santa.
yes, she
helping out.
volunteered at breakfast with
I was gonna
Santa.
add that in my bulletin board. I got to meet the fiance.
Yeah. Yes, she was
Congratulations.
there, yes. Thank you,
wonderful.
thank you. Very exciting.
And for bulletin board, I'll just wish everybody on the board, the staff, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa. Does that include everybody? Anybody get left out?
Happy holidays.
Yeah, happy
Happy
holidays.
holidays. Yeah.
Festivus for the rest of us in case anyone celebrates.
That's right. And that's it.
Okay, I was also going to wish everyone the happiest of holidays. It's been an honor and a pleasure to work with you. Look forward to working with you in 25. This is gonna be a little bit of a rerun of what Brigida said. I somehow found the time Saturday to pop in for the second seating of Breakfast with Santa. And they did a knockout job. It was wonderful. I mean, everyone looked happy, kids were happy, parents were happy, everyone was smiling. Santa is how many? 80, what did he say? He's 85 years old. I can't believe that. He's, planning to be back next year. He actually could support my fat butt on his knee because he insisted on that for the picture. I'm like, no, I'll sit next to you. I don't want to hurt you. Nothing. He's like, nope, everyone goes on my knee.
I spotted, I did not put anything great on him.
I was going to post that, but I didn't post it.
So I mean, that's a wonderful, well-attended community event. And, talked to a couple of people on their way out and they gave very positive feedback. And then I was onto both of the WBAL shows, and they went really well. And if anyone wants to see just a little video of, that, I'm happy to show it to you after the meeting. But again, I talked to some people who, were coming out of the show, and we also had a guest with us who had never been, who thought she was just buying a $15 ticket to help out a charity, and she was going to catch a typical high school concert. And she was, sitting next to us in the auditorium going, I didn't realize it was this. If first Saturday of just mark your calendar, first Saturday of next December, if you haven't been to one of these, it really is impressive. And I'm not just saying that because my kid was in this one. We've been going since our kids were little, and we would take them to the matinee just to support the thing and see what was happening at the high school. And it's just, I don't, even though I work with them a lot now, I don't know how they pull that off every year, because that basically they start working on this about a month before they put on the show. They don't work on this, from the beginning of the school year, because the marching band is off doing its marching band thing, and all the other people that the theater group has the fall play that they had to do, and that was just a couple of weeks ago. They're all doing other stuff, and then sometime in November it all stops and they focus on WBAL and they pull it off. And it's I don't know how they do it. It's just incredible that they do it, and then they're all exhausted for a while. So definitely recommend it for the future. Andrew?
Tom Dudek has passed away. Apparently,
Oh,
he'd
no.
been, yeah. So yeah, our thoughts go out to his
Yeah.
family. He'd been active in the rack and Oakland Mills.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's all I have.
Happy holidays. That's all I got.
Thank you, Warren. Paulette?
Yes. For the past, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4, maybe almost 4 weeks. There have been a lot of robberies in Autumn Crest. There have been like almost every other week we wake up and the cars they have no tires on them.
Hmm.
They're just taking every tire. So I just wanted to let you guys know because I have no idea what's going on, but it's getting really, really bad over there.
That actually reminds me of something that I also, see, I knew I was gonna forget to tell you this, but Paulette, you'll be interested to know this, and I don't have a name yet. But I was informed at the village manager's lunch last week that they are reinstituting the community police program as in the
Mhm.
beginning of January, and so each village will have an officer assigned to them. I have not been given that information yet, but when I do, Paulette, I will follow up with that and, you know, let them know, like. I don't know what they can do, but just kind of make them more aware.
Right, right. Thank you.
So-
Actually, in the meantime, Ashley, if you're out there and can hear this, would it be possible to find out whether, you know, currently the police absent that program are aware of an uptick and are, you know, doing any kind of focused efforts to bring that back down?
Yep, I can definitely check in. I know typically when we reach out, the first thing they're going to ask us, and Paulette, this might be a question for you, is
Mhm.
making sure folks are reporting it. We know sometimes people, may not report it as quickly. So the reporting also helps because when we reach out, then they can pull the report and see that they have had X number of reports over this period of time, and we can also get that data from them. So I will ask for that information.
I think that they did report it. A couple
Okay,
of times I actually saw the police out there. And
awesome.
then Liz, she hung up now, but she was in a Zoom call. She actually reported the very last one, which was like a few days ago.
A few days ago. Okay. And do you know when it
Yeah.
may have started?
I think it may have started about a month ago, maybe on
Okay.
our part, like maybe in our driveway of Autumn Crest. But you know, there's 2 different entrances, so it may be some on the other side. But over here is when I just noticed it. But it could have been happening before that.
Okay. I'll ask them just in general for a report for the fall. So that way it'll cover us all the way up until now. So we can see what other information they have and if they already have a plan in place. And if not, then what that plan is. And then I'll share that back out with the board.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Also, the one time when I happened to come up on the cops, I was in another like Zoom meeting, and the people in Columbia Point, they were saying that it started over there first. They had already had experienced it, and it was only people with Hondas, I think she said.
Okay.
Yeah, they're only taking it from Hondas.
Okay. All right. I'll take a note of that as well for us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, I think that's everyone for bulletin board. Do we have a hard copy of the closed form since we're in person?
No, I might.
Okay, while Amy grabs that, we are looking to hold a closed session of the village board. The purpose of the closed session is to discuss, I forget the exact wording on the form, but basically it's to discuss personnel matters. I forget which item that is on the bottom of the form, but let me read it exactly. It is to, yes, discuss matters pertaining to employees and personnel. So is there a motion to go into the, I'm sorry, hang on, is there a motion to go into the closed session?
Can I go to the lobby?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I'll take a motion from Bill. Is there a second? A second, Warren? Okay. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, Paulette in favor, 5. Okay, so that's I.